Welcome to Play PSVR2, the podcast. This is where you want to be all week. This is where your mom wants to be all week. This is where Alex has been all week. Alex, we got a jam-packed schedule tonight. We've got Powerade Play the Game. What games for the PSVR we are going to play as the swan song. And then we have Firepunchd games talking to us about Tentacular, the PSVR2 launch title. Cannot wait to learn about their implementation of PSVR2 and what really that game is about. So my question is, are you ready? Because with that new haircut of yours, you look like you have been, you look like you've been steaming those Calvins for a while. There's a real crack splitter with a face like that.
What is
a crack
splitter?
You fart. You're just ripping farts. You look like you are, huh?
With my haircut?
Yeah, you look like now a person who just farts in public. Crop dusts the entire gym. Goes into the sauna and just a big, wet, nasty fart. A borderline shard. You do that. There you go. You can splice that and use that for area C. I don't know.
Yeah. Adam, that's funny you say that because I fart in public all the time with long hair or short hair. Thank you for noticing my haircut, Adam. It is very embarrassing. It's gotten a bit better. I looked like Kevin from The Office when he was wearing a wig. Now I think I just look like an old man clinging to his rapidly receding hairline. But it's okay. We'll deal with it. Luckily, soon I'll be in the VR space. I can have whatever hair I want. So, this will do for the podcast. But Adam, enough about my hair. Yeah, great, Adam. That's a good joke. What's your gamer juice?
Listen, I have found, I think, my new favorite soft drink alternative. I don't really drink many soft drinks, but it's got to be Hint water. It is real good. It's pretty much just infused water. Almost like, I forgot what that technical term is. They just drop fruit in there and let it sit there for a while, and slowly the taste kind of overcomes the water a little bit. Almost most of it tastes like tainted water. This stuff is real good. The raspberry and watermelons are my favorite, so I am rocking with Hint. I'm sure you have some awful gamer juice ready for us.
I just like that you tried a type of water, you think it tasted like taint, and so you went back to that well and kept trying it. I think that's hinting at something, but anyways, my gamer juice this week is Vita Coco Pressed. Coconutty taste and nutrients, the original. Did you try this once, Adam? I just basically went to the gas station, got what might be the least likely drink I would ever get, and I got this. I'm trying to broaden my horizons. It's 2023. It's a new Alex. It's a new VR headset. It's a new podcast, more or less. So let's see how this goes. Are you supposed to shake these, Adam? Do you know?
Yeah. You are supposed to shake them. I also have had those. Granted, I don't like coconut water, so I thought it tasted like taint. And surprisingly, I did not go back. Baby back, baby back, baby back.
It's not great. It's
awful.
It tastes like bad water. But I bought it. I paid for it. I'm going to have to drink it all. And that's how these go.
It is good for you, though. It's good hydrating. But the thing is, I don't think the listeners really want to listen to us gargle and drink our gamer juices. They want to know what the Powerade play of the week is. And that's it. I don't want you to make fun of me. For a long time, I bought a game. I bought it fair and square. It was a Fisherman's Tale. It took me 2 weeks to play it. That's my bad, because it's like 40 minutes long, but I finished it. And the question is, Alex, I struggled making this Powerade play the game, but I'm sure it's one that you really enjoyed because it was short. It did have some cleverness to it. So what I want you to do is convince me why you actually think this is a quality title and worth more than the $1.20 I paid for.
Well, first I want to highlight the fact that Adam's trying to get us to celebrate him buying a game. He bought a game for $1.29, and he thinks that puts him above the bar. As if somehow he's redeemed himself. Instead of getting 2 Hint waters, he got 1 Hint water and used the remaining change to buy a Fisherman's Tale. And he's over here proud of it. Like that means anything. No, the thing with Fisherman's Tale is, and it might have been a Powerade play of the week whenever I played it that way back when. is it's the type of game you can only do in VR, right? It's a puzzle game, which we got a bunch of those, right? It's kind of a puzzle adventure game, but this one has a very interesting mechanic where you are inside this diorama of a house, but that house is inside the exact a replica of that same diorama of the house. So I'm not explaining it well, but really, if you look up out of the house, you see yourself looking up out of your own house. So there's layers here. There's mechanics at play to mess with your mind and kind of break the fourth wall a little bit. I really enjoyed that. It's something you couldn't really do. I mean, you could do it in a flat game, but it wouldn't have the same feeling of like, oh, here's this little tiny boat. Let me drop it on myself. Bam! It's a huge boat. That's amazing. I mentioned the boat because you struggled with that so hard on the impromptu golden stream, Adam. It was hilarious that you couldn't figure out one of the simplest puzzles of the game. But yeah, Fisherman's Tale by Vertigo Games, Adam's favorite developer. They made Arizona Sunshine, which was Adam's Power A play of the generation. But developed by Interspace VR. We got to make sure we give them a shout out too. I really like this game, but Adam, I want to know what that $1.49 bought you.
Well, first of all, note Alex admitted live on the podcast that he liked being inside a fisherman. Two, I like the idea, the cleverness of being inside a fisherman was interesting. I like that. The issue is the puzzles. There was one that confused me. And that was probably just my bad. I should have known to use the ladder. But the puzzles weren't that clever. It was a clever idea. The game was so short. There was no depth to the story. Like at the end, I sat there, like I didn't really understand it. I know you at least weren't a puppet by the end. I don't know if you were a puppet and then you became not a puppet. I don't know if you were dreaming. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it went over my head, but I don't get it. I was anticipating some type of resolution of your dad being angry that you weren't a real fisherman. And then essentially he convinced you to drown by trying to go catch some fish. Like it was just all, I don't know.
I think it's funny that the first time a VR game presents a story with any actual depth to you, you skate along the surface and ignore any kind of depth that there is and claim it is a shallow game. But that's a you problem, Adam.
No, I want you to actually, at this point, if the listeners haven't played it, they're not going to. We're a month away from a console where you're not going to be able to play it. Spoil it, because I'm curious. Generally, like what I don't understand. I just don't.
It's nothing like special, but it's just kind of a heartfelt game. The story's kind of heartfelt.
I want to know, what does it mean? You said there was a deeper meaning, and I skated.
No, it's not that there's a deeper. The depth doesn't imply a deeper meaning. It's just a depth that there's a dynamic character arc. There's more than
There isn't a dynamic character arc.
It's the man coming to grips. It's a man coming to grips with his father's expectations and his inability or ability to reach those expectations. And the ultimate conclusion is, even though you're playing this diorama game, that's not actually what's happening. It's him having gotten lost in the storm, and then what's going through his mind as he's coming out of this, coming back to surface.
You're making all this up. That is bullcrap.
Anyways, Adam, how about the game?
No, nobody comes because
you
convinced me to buy this game. You said the game was good, and then you made fun of me for thinking it wasn't deep.
Oh, hold on,
and
my
now
phone
you don't
is
even
ringing.
have reasonings.
Yes, Firepunchd Games, don't come on the podcast because I quit.
Fine, I will just hire, I'll hire Luca and Simon to come be part of the podcast. Screw you, Alex. But what I don't want to screw. Well, I better move away from that one. Listen, PSVR, we've got a month left. I want to talk about what games we are going to play, kind of as the swan song. What are your last tidbits of PSVR that you want to hold on to? And if Rez isn't on your list, I am going to be incensed. I am going to be insatiable. I'm going to be like a feral coon hound out in the hinterlands, buddy. You better not F with me, because Rez is the first one on my list. I played it again, Alex, and it was even better than I remember. The immersion, all of the sights, the sounds, the movement around you. It was really immersive. The enemies are little geometric figures, they were kind of cool. But every time you tag one of those suckers, you get that musical note, just like Area B. And that Area B is only trumped by Area X because it is the thing that you could come and drop just a steaming pile of crap on my face, and I could slurp it up with a straw. And dang it, I'm in Area X, and I'm just all right. I am all right. I'm freeing that young woman and her heart and her soul. And as her soul and explodes and goes into the world, as does mine. It is so wonderful. I freaking love it, man. If you haven't played it, as I know if you're listening, you've heard this a million times. It is, you have to play it again. It's so good. I want you even to come up with a reason, Alex, for someone to not play it.
There's no reason not to play it. I didn't put it on my list for reasons, we've beat this horse to death.
I hate you.
No, let me keep going. The reason I didn't put it on the list is because this is a game I populated my list with games that I'm not going to be able to play elsewhere. I have another VR headset. I can play Rez on another VR headset if I really want to. And I'm unlike you, I'm not throwing my PSVR1 in the trash the second PSVR2 comes out. I'm a little bit optimistic that it might get ported because this game has been ported to it was even ported to cell phones for cell phone VR. So it's been everywhere.
It's that good.
It's great.
Good.
It's a great game and I love it. It's one of my favorite games, but it's not a swan song game like this is what I have to do with my PSVR. So in that vein, I picked games that either would not be possible on PSVR2 or other VR headsets, or just have a very low likelihood of getting ported. So the first game on my list, and I think it was on the video you published, Just in Time Incorporated. This game kind of flew under the radar. It's the blocky Minecrafty type graphics, but it's clever. The gameplay mechanics are fun and funny, and watching the video that you put together of some of the elements, it brought me back. I was like, yeah, that was a really good time. I'd love to spend another hour just running through that game real quick, and that's part of it too. It's not a huge commitment. I can sit down and play Just in Time Incorporated, get through all of it, be happy with the time I spent, and it is a nice farewell to be like, this is the kind of stuff I like about VR, is that you get these like go-getter indie developers that like put together these games that they obviously really think about. They're not just trying to gloss over trash mechanics with like gee-whiz graphics. They put together a good solid game, and Just in Time Incorporated is like the embodiment of that kind of philosophy of making games. That's that, and I don't think it's going to appear on PSVR2. Might be on some other headset, whatever. I don't think it's going to be on PSVR2. That's where I learned to love it, and so I'm happy to go back and visit the glory days of PSVR by playing it.
I mean, it was a very good game. When I was looking back, remembering the old guy getting run over by the car, and all the people getting gunned down. I think there was one where you had to take people's clothes off, and someone was like hiding a bomb, and you had to take their clothes off to figure out who has the bomb, and it was like in their underwear or something. Just all the funny. I forgot about taking a hammer to the rats in the lab. I mean, it really, you're right. It was a very underrated game, in my opinion. One that I think you convinced me on that, yeah, I probably need to go back and play that. My second, which is this one is a bit odd because Until Dawn Rush of Blood, incredible game, but it's also going to be the last game I want to play on PSVR because not only am I hoping that Rush of Blood and Switchback VR may be connected. We know that what is it? Not the Dark Anthology, Dark World?
Dark Pictures Anthology, yeah.
Yeah. I know those two are linked to that. And I don't know if they're linked necessarily to each other, but I know we're going to see some of the same characters. And it would be cool if they're linked. That way I'll play until, Dawn Rush of Blood, and then I'll understand what's going on in Switchback. But even if not, they're going to be close enough games that I can truly appreciate the jump in technology and innovation from PSVR 1 to PSVR 2. And again, it's a game that takes maybe an hour max to beat, probably. So I think it's one of the better games, even though it was one of the launch titles. I'm excited to jump back in it. So that's my number 2.
I mean, that's a game that stood the test of time. I think it's a terrible pick for this list because Switchback VR is basically like a remake of this game. It's like saying, I want to play Last of Us so that I can play Last of Us remake and feel. And it's like the experience is going to be more or less the same. It's on rails. I mean, the haptics will be cool, the eye tracking will be cool, but it's some of the big features we're excited about, like analog sticks and locomotion being way better now.
You probably haven't even finished Rush of Blood.
I finished Rush of Blood.
You don't finish any. The thing is,
Number one is Bob Washington. Number two is Jim Washington. Number three is me on that scoreboard, Adam. Where are you? Nowhere to be found.
I argue that one, it is a good game. It is a good horror game. You play good
Yeah,
games.
it's great.
Two, you are going to appreciate the jump. I'm going to sit there, and when you're like, yeah, PSVR2 is pretty good, I'm going to be like, but did you see it? It's trust me, it's going to work out real good.
And sorry to spoil your parade, Adam. It is so Until Dawn Rush of Blood is part of this Until Dawn universe, and I think it's technically separate from the Dark Pictures anthology universe because it's a different publishing group, I believe, WB Games as opposed to whoever published Rush of Blood. So sorry to ruin that for you, but I still think it's going to be valid to play both games. I'm sure the comparison will be fun. It's a stupid comparison to make, but
it's
what can
not.
I expect
Also,
from you?
They did say Switchback was going to be linked to the anthology. I know that one is.
Yeah, it's Dark Pictures Anthology Switchback VR, so it is part of that universe.
Mm.
But I don't think you're not going to play all the Until Dawn games to figure out what's happening in Switchback. I think Inpatient might be the end of that. Yeah,
I will.
Oh, you will. Yeah,
I will. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, knowing you and your ability to understand a story, you'll probably think it's the same universe and same game.
You can't even follow the plot between Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. Go to your second game.
My second game is Firepunchd. This is a game that you have to have the aim controller to really enjoy. You can play with the DualShock, but whatever. It's a game that brought us the aim controller, and it's the game that might be the best aim controller game still out there. For that reason, I think it's not going to come to PSVR 2. I think it got their mileage out of it, but I mean, the multiplayer's fun, co-op's fun, the deathmatch is fun, but I really liked the single player campaign. Although it kind of felt corridor shooty at times, but I thought the pacing was really good. I thought the story, while not like incredible, was like relatively like well done. I'm a fan of that writer Rob Yescombe who wrote the story. It took itself seriously enough to make the game fun and enjoyable and have the right pacing with story moments and action moments, and it really shined a light on what PSVR could do. And it's an experience I want to revisit again just so I can remember how it felt to do this for the first time in VR. Because I know that after PSVR 2 comes out, I'm not going to be able to go back to Farpoint the way that I could now, because there's going to be all these new games coming out that kind of do the same thing, but just way better.
I will buy you an entire new PSVR 2 game if you play Farpoint and finish it. There is no way that's going to happen between now and then.
How do I prove it? I want this bet. How do I prove it? Do I got to stream the whole thing?
I don't even know. Sure, yeah.
Because you don't want to take this bet, you guru.
No, yeah. I mean, that's proof. That would be proof. I just hate for you to stream the whole thing, but go ahead, do it. The thing is, this is a crappy pick. The game isn't that good, Alex. The aim controller usage is incredible. I'll give you that. It was designed for that, right? And the aim controller is incredible. The game was at some point, it was so boring. I have no inclination to ever go back. I might as well. I actually sold my hard copy. I have the digital copy. I already deleted it. It's gone. It's not even like I can go back and download. I was like, delete it forever.
I think the reason you're mad is because you don't have a poster on the back there given to you by JRAT because you won the Farpoint competition. So I understand your reticence to go back to Farpoint because it brings back harsh memories of where I totally dominated you in a game where we were competing. So
first, I don't even think. Well, I don't remember that competition well enough, so I guess I should shut up.
Yeah, because you don't remember anything well enough if you didn't win.
I blacked out.
That
the
you
game
like
really,
you
I think
out.
it just isn't that fun. It was boring. I don't know what plot you're talking about. It was like a Thomas the Tank Engine came up with a video game type plot. It was bad. But we don't got time. I'm not here to talk crap about your picks. I'm here to talk about Table of Tales, The Crooked Crown. It is a game that I think is vastly underrated. It is almost like a virtual board game. You move your... It's like D&D and a virtual board game put together. It's not multiplayer. It is a bit of a lengthier game, so you'd need to probably hop on it soon to play it. But I love the environments. There was a lot of strategy built into it, kind of like an actual board game. Where do you put your pieces? What moves do you make strategically? What equipment are you going to equip on certain characters? And I mean, there was a lot of strategy behind it. It was just a game that was memorable in my mind and certainly isn't one many people talk about. that I want to go back to. It's just some games have it, they got your heart, they got your mind, and for some reason that was one of them. And thinking that I'm just going to assume I'm not going to play any of these games ever again. Once I get something better, I'm not going back to the original Game Boy when I can play the Game Boy Color, or I can play the SP. I'm not going back to PSVR because I got the PSVR2, especially when I can use that eye tracking. So Table of Tales is one I want to end. I don't think you ever played that one, did you?
No, and I really should have because I love strategy RPGs, and it seems like that. This is the kind of game where you have your like 4 or 5 characters, and then there's like 10 enemies or something like that, and you're moving. Can move like 4 paces and then attack or defend. Basic strategy RPG. I love that stuff, and I'm sure it feels great in VR because that whole like look down at the environment type view. I like that too.
And being able to like actually move and the backgrounds change and the board, the way it comes out of the ground and changes. Yeah, it's just really cool. They did a good job with it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Demio is a game that's coming out at launch. I feel like it's going to hit some of those same notes. So I'm not desperate to play it, but I should probably give it a spin if I'm not going to finish it, just to visit what it's going to be like before I hop into some of these more fleshed out strategy RPGs. But no, my third game is Blood and Truth. Now this is a game that it didn't seem like a world beater to me. It's again another game I don't think is going to be ported because one of the selling points of the PSVR2 is the analog stick ability. Now this is a game that kind of eschews that. It's on-rail shooter, kind of like a Rush of Blood, but you're walking. But there's PS5 enhancements that I haven't experienced, so it's like now I have the chance to play the best version of this game possible, and I'm not going to play a better version of it in the future. And it's something Sony really put up front and center as like, this is PSVR, this is a cool story and good shooting and fun action. And I played games like it. Like when the Wii came out, there was that game Red Steel that everybody hated. I had a really good time with it. This looks like a VR version of that. And I haven't played it more than like an hour. I need to play it more. I need to give it its do it justice so I can properly evaluate it. But it feels like there's something there that I just need to experience before I move on.
Play Blood and Truth, but finish that game, but don't finish Astrobot. Probably the highest rated PSVR game of all freaking time, you just nerd. My fourth game here is short and sweet. It's Trainer VR. I don't know why I like this game. There is a simplicity to it. I've done the golden stream with this game like 2 or 3 times. You just set up tracks, you watch trains go, you put TNT in the way, and you watch it go boom. But it's so satisfying, and it's just fun, man. You can put cows and people and horses and more TNT, and you can build like I don't know what it is about it. Really easy to pick up and play at any time. I'm not looking for a game that I'm going to have to invest 12 to 20 hours in, like a Resident Evil. I want quick hitters that I can appreciate the old times. I want third-party developers. This matches everything of what I'm looking at. Play it for like a golden stream for like 30 minutes. It'll do my heart good, and then move on, because this is a game I will never play again in my life.
I don't have much to say about it. It looks like a boring game, and it's a stupid pick.
My fourth game, and you're a stupid pick.
My fourth game is Deracine. So this is an action game, or not action game, adventure game. So there's not much locomotion happening. You're kind of solving puzzles throughout this environment. But it has, it's developed by From Software, so you get that pedigree there. And it's kind of tied into the Bloodborne universe, so it's certainly not going to get ported to any other system as far as I know. I really love Bloodborne. I love the environment. I love the gameplay. This is that environment. This is those kind of story beats. And I never got all the way through to figure out how they connect. I know they do connect when you get to the end. So I want to visit it. I want to go through it all the way because I'm not going to have another chance once I pack up my PSVR 1 and put it in storage.
Talk about boring game. Jeez. And again, I don't see how you're going to be able to. You've had the PSVR for like 6 years and you haven't finished these games. I don't know how you're going to finish them in a month. Farpoint, Deracine, Blood and Truth. We'll see. My fifth pick is Doom VFR. I know you need to get your aim controller itch scratched. And that's where, screw Farpoint, Doom VFR, baby. That's because this game is fast-paced. It's dynamic. You can speed run it. There's collectibles, there's Easter eggs, there's hidden levels. It's really fun game. Tons of options for combat, punch, use all the different weapons. Again, the fact that it is so fast, and if you know what you're doing, I mean, you can blaze through it, which I like. It's not so short, like 15 minutes or an hour, like Fisherman's Tale, but you can still, you feel like you're covering a lot of ground because of the way that you can move and how fast paced and dynamic the gameplay is. This, I think, may be my favorite aim controller game. It's tough. It's certainly one of them. I just like it, man. It feels good. The music's good. I like stuff that blows up. It's fast paced. This is one I can easily finish, easily play again, and I'm probably never going to end up playing it again. So, Doom
This
VFR.
this is a game I finished. You know, I watching the footage of Doom VFR again. It reminds me of it looks really good. Like I don't remember it looking that good. And it plays very well with, especially with the aim controller. But even the DualShock was good. I wish I would have gotten good at playing with the aim or with the move controllers. It got the weird control scheme, but apparently, if you get used to it, it's really fun. But it's fast paced. It's gory. It's Doom in VR. You know, the new Doom in VR, and it did everything you want. Really, the biggest knock against it is that it's just so short, right? It's such a short game. You want so much more of it. But that's perfect for the kind of game you're going to revisit before going to PSVR2. You don't have much time, so I think that might be your only good pick here. My last pick.
You are so stupid.
My last pick is The Persistence. This is a game. I mean, you could play it on other systems, but they don't use the motion controls. So really, the whole reason to play anywhere, like there's nothing holding it back on the PSVR. It also got some PSVR or PS5 enhancements. They added extra haptics and stuff to it. It's just a damn good roguelike sci-fi horror action game, and they got all the gameplay modes like glass cannon mode and stuff like that. That just it seems so replayable, so enjoyable, and it's the exact kind of game I like to play. I think the reason I stopped was I really just it got too scary for me. Like the roguelike element of like you're gonna lose all your progress combined with just like it's just straight up scary having to hide from these guys in VR in the dark. It got to be too much for me. I'm a big boy now. I think I can take it, and I'm gonna try to take it, and I'm looking forward to taking it one last time.
But heard it here first. Alex is gonna take it one more time. So the thing is, that is a good pick. Persistence. The only reason I didn't put it on my list is it's so lengthy. Unlike you, I can't stand to start a game and not finish it. I can't do it. I become all consumed. That's why I don't play RPGs, because I start and then I can't stop until I finish. This is just too long of a game. It's incredibly good. If you remember, it was my favorite game for a long, long time. I mean, it's a freaking quality game, man. That was a good pick. Very quickly, I do want to give some of my honorable mentions that didn't make it on the list. Like one, Stifled. You know I love Stifled. Incredible game. You need to play it if you haven't played it. But it's another one of those games that's going to take several hours. After playing it once, like you got the story and the gist. So I feel like some of that awesomeness of the echolocation and stuff is going to rub off. So it's not going to be quite worth the time when you only have 1 month left. Static, probably the best puzzle game on the PSVR. But again, it's going to take a long time. You're going to bust your balls, back, and brain. And I'm just not into that for 1 month of PSVR. And then the one that really tugs at my heartstring is Battlezone. If I could play Battlezone, that would have been number one on my list, because that really is a game I feel like we've had the most fun on, where I have the most PSVR memories. I mean, we've just had so much crap happen during Battlezone, and looking back at like some of the footage and just to get some of the reel for that video, it was just a fun game, man. That's just how it was. It was simple, but dang it, it was fun. When you're just with buddies, you're shooting down crap, you're laughing about what, I don't know, pansexuals are or moms, or how you do really well up until the last level, and then I'm almost certain intentionally die multiple times so we never actually finished and completed the game. Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Battlezone would be on my list too. That's a good honorable mention. Yeah, you just can't play it now. I mean, I don't have my PS4 anymore, and it's kind of janky and broken on the PS5, which is a huge shame. And it's a game that really deserves a sequel of some sort, or at least a port in some capacity.
How would you be hyped if this somehow became a PSVR2 title?
I mean, for sure, but like, I don't think there's much in it that would take advantage of PSVR2. But I would just
haptics, the eye tracking.
Eye tracking would be good, but you'd have to rework how some of the weapons work on that. But eye tracking would be good. The controls wouldn't really change too much, right? It's the way it works. I mean, unless they had like actual haptic controls where you're like driving those two things like a real tank, that might be fun. But even that would get kind of wonky feeling after a while. So
that whole different discussion. Okay, what's your honorable mentions?
Yeah, my honorable mention. I just have one here. Sniper VR. This is or Sniper Elite VR. Sorry. This is that game put out by the people who made Battlezone. I tried playing it with the Move controllers first just to get that experience of, like shooting the gun and reloading and and that it was painful. It's hard to do. Tracking wasn't really up to snuff for it. But playing with the aim controller, you almost feel like you're cheating because it was like way too easy that way. However, it's just a really fun first-person shooter, more or less. Even though it's easy, it's a World War II first-person shooter where you get to look down the scope and snipe guys. It's really fun and really enjoyable. Didn't give it much time, but also it's on other systems and it's going to be done better in other games that come out on PSVR 2. So it's not something that like means PSVR to me.
Yeah, so Alex, looking back at your list, I gotta admit that list isn't going to go down in history, but I would go down on your mom. I'm sorry, Dennis. Where's the badumps for that one?
It's not a joke. It's just rude.
What? It's a joke? No, he doesn't get it. Listeners, if you understand the joke, please contact at playpsvr.com or you know what? YouTube comment, Twitter us. Help Alex understand this joke.
It's not that I don't understand it. It's like saying you don't understand what's funny about like a fat guy slipping on a banana peel. There's no depth to this joke. It's not like you thought of something clever. Anyway, let's get out of here before Adam loses it. Okay, that is it for segment 2, everybody. He's losing it, guys. That's it for segment 2. Please stay tuned because we got Simon and Luca from Firepunchd Games. They're going to get you tickled, touched, and hyped. For one of the more intriguing launch titles for PSVR 2, we are talking about Tentacular. So we will see you after the break.
All right, welcome back to Play PSVR 2, the podcast, and we're honored to be joined by Firepunchd Games.
Hey.
All right. Yes, it is our great pleasure and privilege to have you join us. So for the listeners, the viewers who might not be familiar, this is Luca and Simon of Firepunchd Games. They're a core team of 2 people. They have some extra people working on some games for them for PSVR 2. And just a quick rundown of some previous games you guys have worked on. We see you guys have developed Chicken Jump and Ridiculous Glitching and Cool Cubes. But most importantly, we're here to talk about Tentacular for PSVR 2. Yeah, if there's any specific details you want to spill about your company, or maybe just, have you worked on any other VR games besides Tentacular, or was this your first jump into the VR space?
Yeah, as a commercial product, yes. But we work for us with client work. And we had like clients that were providing VR experience for museum or exhibition, stuff like that.
Nice. And I have to admit, Alex jumped the gun. The very first question I was going to ask is, Alex got a new haircut. I think he looks foolish. I want you to rate his haircut on a scale of 1
well,
to 10.
It's more hair than I have, so I'm kind of jealous, actually.
I guess he wins.
Well, I think he looks like a big time goober, but
he has still more options than me. Yeah, I would say.
That is definitely fair. And it's the second question. I'll let you start, Alex, because we already covered our gamer juice.
Okay, yeah. So one thing we do on the podcast is we lead off the top with what our gamer juice is. This is what we're drinking for the podcast, or for you guys, probably, is there a beverage of choice that you have when you're making games or when you're playing games, something like that? Just what do you like to sip on while you're at work or at play?
Yeah, being Italian, I drink my own espresso. I do at home.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm also a coffee person for work. I really enjoy coffee. I mean, you can't have too many, so it's tricky.
Is there a rule that like you can't have an espresso past like 4, otherwise you won't be able to sleep, or do you just drink them any time of the day?
I don't have this kind of problem. Some people are more sensible than others. Yes, but in general, yeah.
How about you, Simon? You just drink coffee whenever you want?
No, I also have to stop after a certain time. I mean, like this, yeah, especially the morning, afternoon, and then I have to stop. But there's a rule about cappuccino, because since Luca is Italian. Yeah, you have to explain, Luca.
I need to like cappuccino is breakfast stuff. So if you order like cappuccino like in the middle of the afternoon, people will look at you weird. And if you ask cappuccino during a meal, the waiter will most likely refuse to even bring to you.
They throw you out of the restaurant, maybe.
Oh, this is good to know. If I ever go to Europe, I need this cultural information because I drink coffee nonstop, whether it's 9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever. That's typically my go-to juice. But also, it's not a fancy coffee. It's just home-brewed coffee that I pour over ice and just drink it like water. But yeah, thanks for.
And here's the thing: Alex is the cappuccino of this podcast. So if you want to throw him out, do it at any point in this interview. Just kick him out. But I do want to start with, I know Tentacular is on Oculus, and I personally don't have one. I'm pretty much PSVR exclusive, and so I'm going in blind into this game. So I would like you to give me a high-level overview of what me and the fans here can expect from you and the new game that will be a launch title here for the PSVR2.
Okay, my short description is like you are a giant tentacle monster. Try to fit in society. Is like the shortest I can.
It sounds like Alex in everyday life. Man, I'm just ripping on you hard. So was the monster? Is this built off like? I'm not much of a Loch Ness monster like Fabled Tales or something. Is this built off some type of made up monster already there, or did you come up with this yourself?
Yeah, we come up with the idea ourselves. Yeah, we had the idea of a giant, casual kind of game, and we experimented with our option. Then I had some tentacle models lying around for another thing I did. We put the thing together like during a game jam, and then we had the very basis of our Tentacular very early on during a game jam.
Nice.
Yeah, the other like super short pitch is basically Octodad meets Bridge Builder, so you can at least imagine how it can feel in the game.
Yeah, I recently played through a bit of Octodad with my daughter, and it's a very enjoyable game, pretty funny. Trying to just similar idea. You got a bunch of tentacles. You're trying to pass yourself off as just a normal person integrated into society. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of it too. It brings a lot of humor to the situation. We got some silly questions here too. So next question we have for you is, would you rather have tentacles for your arms or tentacles for your legs?
Well, I will have tentacle for legs, so I can then play VR and have double the amount of tentacles.
Okay, Simon, what about you? Arms or legs for tentacles?
Honestly, like having played Tentacular a lot, like for 3 years on a daily basis, I really feel confident with tentacles, being able to grab everything with every position, and I would totally have tentacles for arms.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it's not like you just have 2 hands, right? You have like an unlimited number of hands all the way up to tentacles. So, I didn't even think about that. I was just, tentacles for legs might be nice, and I could still use my arms as normal arms and hands. But no, you'd certainly have the benefits there, which I guess we're going to be finding out here very soon when we play Tentacular.
You can definitely grab a lot of objects if you if you just grab into stuff, then you can have like 20-30 objects attached to your tentacles and mess around.
Physics is very huge aspect of our game. So like how the tentacle are reacting to object, how they you feel the weight in different point of the tentacle. It becomes very natural after a very short amount of time.
So what you're telling me is after playing this, I'm gonna want a tentacle for an arm. I'm gonna want like a
Maybe split, like one arm, like one
You
arm
feel
and
naked.
one leg.
You feel
tentacle.
naked after just having your hands.
I'm gonna play this game naked, and then I'm gonna want tentacles. Okay, that's what. Imagine the
stream that.
damage you could do on the buffet. Like, oh look, there's some hors d'oeuvres. Boom,
Yeah.
and you just have a whole arm.
Everything, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and be the curmudgeon of the group here. So PSVR2 is gonna have over 30 launch titles. There's a lot of these. So I want you to try to convince me here why I need to boot up Tentacular day one.
First, because it's the best game ever, of course.
Oh, good start. Good start.
Second, it's like it's a very immersive game, and it's very easy to get into. And since everything is PC based, you really like feel like you are in a different place. It's not just a backdrop where everything is like weightless, where everything is like a video game. Like the physics in the game is so like precise that you really feel you belong in this giant world. It's okay, Simon.
Yeah, but it's not only the tech aspect of it, but also that since like Tentacular has a really nice and heartfelt story with some twists. It's really, it's a nice mix of like dexterity, using the tentacles, getting to know them, and also playing through a really nice story. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
It's certainly a game that I'm excited. I like these games that have like almost like a homey feel to them, and there's a fun aspect too. Of course, this is the first time we're seeing a lot of this technology and innovation, especially again coming straight from the PSVR, which is old tech at this point. So I'm expecting it's going to blow me away, and I can't wait to contact you afterward. Be like, I want a tentacle. You need to start selling a tentacle with this game so I can just put it on my arms. And
Well, Luca started 3D printing tentacles, but that's, I guess, not the same thing if you.
Yeah, it's kind of rigid. I have
wobbling a lot.
I don't know in feet, but it's like 1.5 meters. I guess it's like 2 feet long, maybe.
Oh, how long does that take to print?
A week. Like it was during Corona, like I was stuck at home and just like led to the printer.
Well, you better get started, dude. There's only a month to launch. Go ahead, come on.
I like the idea of people 3D printing stuff for the controllers as add-ons, but we could totally 3D print like a tentacle to attach to that controller for the PSVR2, and just give you that. Even if it's not adjusting how you play it, you get the inertia of like the arms moving around. That would be nice.
I'm imagining Alex accidentally slapping his wife because he's doing this, and then there's the tentacle slapping her in the face. That'd be good.
Yeah, me and Simon, we were working next to each other, like in the same office, and plenty of time we slap each other without realizing it, because both of us were next to each other, blind by the VR. And like, oh, sorry. Oh.
Oh no.
So we need room to play the game, right? Because I'm going to be moving my arms around a lot.
Actually, we spent a lot of time to have the game playable even for seated experience, also for accessibility reasons, because not everybody is able to stand up and jump around. But it's of course it's a room scale game, so if you have the space, you can use all of it.
I mean, it has a very mixed, there's mixed interactions. So some things, it's not too hard. You can work in a very small space. But for some things that are more action oriented, it's nice to have a little bit, area around where you don't slap your hand into the walls. But I think it's very doable. People said that it has like nice accessibility features, so you can adjust it to your favorite play style.
Nice. I mean, that's one of the things we're looking forward to for PSVR2 is, PSVR1 had a lot of limitations with the tracking. Room scale wasn't really a thing. So I'm excited to actually walk around a little bit, maybe do more than just slightly lean over if I need to get to something. I don't got to worry about staying in view of that camera. So I'm glad this game's going to be incorporating that, because it's going to be a fun new thing for a lot of these gamers.
And one thing that's really interesting about like the tentacle controller is that since it extends your controller anyway, you have a lot more reach than in other games. So in some games where you have problems picking up things, they use some teleporting mechanic where it teleports the object into your hand. Like in Tentacular, no matter how, you have like, half a meter or how long it is in reality, that extend, and you can grab things without actually having to go there. Picking up stuff is really nice. You just, slap it down and
yeah, and also like
up.
we put some effort to not having we have like almost no UI. Everything is like physics based. Like everything is like either a button or lever, and you can grab physical stuff. You don't have to teleport. You don't have to make it. We remove all the friction between the actual gameplay and the user. There is no button, menu, or stuff you need to use when you actually play the game.
So when looking at the game, is it more of, and you don't have to give hard examples, not to necessarily ruin anything, but is it like I'm this tentacle monster, and Sally from this town needs her car jumped, and I help her do something to make her life better? Or is it like I show up and I can just wreak havoc and destroy houses and toss cars into the ocean?
Of course, like we anticipate this kind of behavior. So in general, like you are supposed to be a good monster, and you are supposed to help like these people, and because you want to belong to this community. But since it's very easy to screw everything up, or just lean on the temptation to destroy everything that moves, every level has a reset button, so you can feel free.
Nice.
We don't punish the player to be like messy or to be like nasty. It's just like have your fun, and then when you're ready to finish the level for real, you can reset and start over.
Nice, sweet, good.
Nice. So yeah, next question here, a bit of technical stuff. So you guys have developed Tentacular for, I believe it's on the Meta Quest, right? So you're bringing it to a new headset, a headset nobody's really used before, beyond developers making games. So what was it like transitioning from one headset to another? Were there particular challenges, or just transitioning to a new headset altogether that is getting ready for launch?
So I mean, in general, when we started, we started 2016 with the first prototype. A lot has changed since then. So we've been migrating from different Unity versions which we made the game, but also to different VR systems. But right now, like we're using a setup that allows us to fairly easy migrate to different platforms, which is awesome, because we're a small company, we're a small team, and for us it's really important that we can bring the game to many different platforms. And for the PSVR port, we also had help from a porting studio, which helped us with everything that's like PS5 specific, like low level stuff. So we split it up. Like we did all the in-game stuff, everything that's related to gameplay we did, and they helped us connecting everything, to the back end, to the hardware, everything. So in general, I think it was very smooth sailing, porting the game. And of course, some things were new to us, the new features that the PSVR2 has, no other platform has right now. So some things we had to, come up in a new way. But it was also the interesting part, because that's why the PSVR2 version now is like the most advanced in terms of features and tools.
Yeah, it's a very nice headset.
So as someone who, I don't do any game development at all. So you have this for the Oculus, you have a good base, you're going to port this over to the PSVR, and then say you wanted to use one of the advanced features that maybe the Quest doesn't have. What goes into implementing something that uses that haptic feedback, or maybe some type of, eye tracking or something? Like what, and you don't have to go into gory detail, but in general, like how much time, how much work is that to implement one of these new features?
Okay, when we started, we knew that the game was fragmented, because there's a lot of different headset system, even on PC or standalone. So we always had this layer of abstraction: what is the game and what are the controls, like the hardware side. So there is like this, and for special feature that just belong to one platform to the other, we had in the code some kind of flags that we say, okay, if we are compiling for this platform, please ignore this chunk of code and instead refer to this one, kind of, to simplify. Of course, there is more to it.
Yeah.
But as a abstract from like a high level point of view, is basically a lot of flags and especially thinking in advance about this, anticipate this kind of problem.
Yeah. So go ahead, Alex.
Well,
So I
Simon,
think, so I think in general, the platforms and also the game engine we're using, of course, they provide most of the stuff you need to make it work. And the actually getting like the tech to work is not that hard, because then it comes down to again to like polish or like creating content. In terms of haptics. The haptics are much more advanced than the legacy haptics we're using for other platforms. So that means you have to come up with like new ideas, create new content. So it's at that point it's mostly content work. You think about, okay, how can this feel? How this is supposed to feel, instead of just one rumble. It's like it's like a series of rumbles that mimic the situation you're in. So it's mostly content work. In terms of the eye tracking, which is one of the most interesting experiences, it's super easy to implement, but then like fine-tuning it was really interesting. Things like, okay, I look somewhere, then I track it basically, and I can give feedback. But then when I look away, do I want the tracking to be lost, or do I want the tracking to stay on like the character and things like that? And it comes into polish and tinkering with the whole system, because it's something new. It's not something that we're used to.
It's a new tool. It's a new tool in our disposal.
Yeah. That's so. This next is kind of a two-part question. The first part is, have you guys played the original PSVR, or maybe you guys are just working so much you don't actually get to play for fun? But have you used the PSVR?
Honestly, like most of our like experience is like in a PC, but at the beginning, especially in Quest. But of course, as a developer, we had access to all like devices. So we had we played like the original PlayStation VR. We also had at some point like we tried to develop something for PlayStation VR1, but was kind of limited for our kind of game. And also we had also like a lot of headset from China and different hardware. So I guess we try everything.
Yeah.
Okay, what I was hoping is that you, and maybe you could even go ahead and share. I don't know what you can or can't say. Don't get yourself in trouble. But what do you think, after using and developing for the PSVR2, that we fans can look forward to? Something that maybe excited you, or something that's like game changing that you think we're really going to like, things that stuck out to you? Could you give us any suggestions or info on what you think we're going to love about the headset?
So I mean, for me, like in terms of features, it's about features for the game, right? So for me personally, it was the eye tracking, because like in the game before, the way you interact with the little humans is you tap them. Like it's like you tenderly tap them on the head and they start talking, which was super important for us, and we didn't want to lose that. So like you start in the game like that, but once during development, when we had the eye tracking implemented, we just realized how comfortable it is, like just how smooth and streamlined it makes the whole experience. Because at the beginning it's fun to tap, but after a while, you get tired, because it's like you're moving all the time and things. And after the gaze tracking was implemented, we just realized, oh wow, this is really this is really comfortable. This changes the way the game feels. That's one of the things. And one of the other things is with the haptics, with the advanced haptics, is that we were just able to have special moments which were really hard to make like special in terms of rumble and haptics, and we could just really make them much more important and let the player feel much more what's going on around him. And these are often things that you only realize when you're missing them if you play an older headset after. So these features are going to be really interesting, I guess, for the players.
Yeah. So the eye tracking, is it like I look at a human and then I just click a button on the controller, and then that signals that person to talk. I'm assuming, is that how it works?
Yeah, but also the character look at you, can look you back. That's it's like another layer of interaction that you can have in a game.
Wow.
Also, I guess like it's not our case, but I guess you can you could also develop some kind of aim assist where you're shooting an enemy, but also like kind of looking in the general direction. And
yeah,
it's also like the headset itself technically is very very good resolution. And if you are coming from PlayStation VR1, the jump is very significant in quality and experience in general. It's very nice, well done device in general.
good. That's all. Alex, I keep asking questions and cutting you off. I'm sorry. I'll let you take the floor for a bit, Alex. You ask questions you want, because I've just been firing off.
No, I mean, one thing that I didn't come across necessarily in the trailers that I watched and the footage I watched is that it sounds like you guys are really emphasizing the feeling that you're getting. I'm a guy who really enjoys if there's some kind of emotion or some kind of feeling or sense that you can get in a game, especially in VR. So things like eye contact and as you mentioned, Simon, like tenderly tapping them on the head or just these kind of touching moments enhanced by haptics. I'm really excited about that stuff. So I'm glad to see you guys are working on that. But shifting gears a little bit, we got a bonus round. I'm going to hit you guys with some octopus or tentacle related questions. This is kind of a trivia round, so go ahead and pipe up if you know what the answer is. And Adam, you keep score for me. The winner, I'll take a picture of myself and sign it and scan it and email it to one of you, so you can save that for whenever I'm famous one day. Maybe it'll be worth something. So
it won't be.
It won't be. Or I'll send you a lock of my hair that I just cut. How about that? So first question. You guys ready?
Ready.
All right. First question. What did the octopus say when he found out his wife had 10 tentacles?
Uh-oh. They're making a tentacle game and they don't know these tentacles.
They don't know these tentacle questions?
Who's that sucker? Who was that sucker?
That's close. Luca, you got 2 seconds. 1, 2.
I can't. Okay.
No, he said, you've got to be squidding me. You've got to be squidding me. There you go.
Okay.
Squid, 10 tentacles.
This is very technical, because squid has 10 appendages.
Yep. It's not a tentapus, octopus. It's a squid. Yeah. All right.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
How do you make an octopus sing 1 octave higher? I should have ran these by you first. You're gonna kick him somewhere.
Okay.
I know the answers. I can't be control. All right, they don't know it.
Time is up. You gotta kick him in the tentacles. Kick him in the tentacles. He'll sing 1 octave higher. Yeah. I don't know what you guys were thinking about kicking him. No, in the tentacles.
No, of course.
Yeah. Let's keep
just
it clean.
Encouraging him to.
Yeah. All right, here's a famous one you should be able to get. How many tickles does it take to get an octopus to laugh?
I'll say tentacles.
Tentacles. All right. There we go. Tentacles. All right. Here's one. What do you call an octopus with no tentacles? What is his name? He's in the water. He's floating. No tentacles.
I don't know.
It's a beach balloon.
Beach balloon.
I like beach balloon. The answer is Bob. You call him Bob.
Okay,
he's bobbing up and down, Bob.
I guess we come from different backgrounds, because I didn't get to go in kindergarten US like you did.
Yeah, boo, that one sucks.
I'm missing all this.
No, Luca's winning right now. All right, Simon, here's your chance. This is the last question here. What do you call 2 octopuses that look exactly the same?
I don't know that one either. That's a tough. I don't know.
Come, Luca, win. Win it.
Yeah, okay. Look, what's the answer though? I gotta know.
They are identical. They are identical.
Okay.
Also accepted would be twinticles. Twinticles would also be an acceptable answer.
Okay. I was still something with twin, but it didn't come that far.
I'm sorry. And for double points, you could have said identical twinticles, but we're not going to go that far. Luca, congratulations. You got
Okay, I got 1.
You got 1 out of 5. Simon, I'm sorry. We can do a rematch later, maybe for Tentacular 2. I'd be happy to do that. And I'll run them by you so you get a little bit of an advantage next time going into one of these. Thank you for abiding me. I love these dad jokes. I had to make sure they got on the podcast.
Some of them were pretty good. Like they kick them into tentacles. That one I like. I'm gonna use that one out in public with no context. I'm just gonna start asking them. So, are there tentacle jokes in a Tentacular, kind of like what Alex was saying, or are you not that lame and that like punny as we?
There is plenty of lameness in our game. And of course, it's a very light-hearted game, so there's a lot of jokes and a lot of puns.
Actually, we're lying in the game because those are not tentacles; those are actually arms.
We got corrected by a
biggest
Reddit
bummer.
user.
Those are arms. Squid got tentacles. Octopuses have arms. So.
Wow,
and that's a lie. That explains everything as to why you didn't get the answers right. Simon, you get an extra point.
Yeah, now it's tied.
Because we had all these tentacle jokes, and they should have been arm jokes. So I apologize. We'll come back with arm jokes next.
Yeah, we were not prepared.
Yeah, of course. There's also a loading screen that mentions that because some random user in Reddit was complaining. Oh, this is not a tentacle.
Octopus, they don't have tentacles.
Oh gosh.
They're technical arms.
We should rename the game. And in the beginning, I was thinking the game would just be called Suckers. But then I guess
that would have been all suckers.
Yeah, it would have been worse. I mean, Googling for Tentacular can be pretty, Yeah.
Okay. Here's one. Since we're talking about arms now, what has 4 legs and an arm?
I apologize in advance for whatever Adam's about to drop on you guys.
Nothing. It's not bad. A happy pit bull. Do I even get that?
I get it.
Even mean?
The pit bull has ripped the arm off of something, Adam.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, that's what that means.
Oh, okay. As we start to wrap up here, we don't want to take too much of your guys' time. You've already mentioned some of the features that PSVR2 now offers that you've included in your game, but would you mind listing like all of them that you've included that maybe are PSVR2 specific, like maybe the eye tracking, or what are some of the features that we could look forward to using in Tentacular?
So the eye tracking I think stands out the most for me. Then there's the advanced haptics. We're also using the triggers, the force triggers, but those are the same. Those are the same on the PS5 controller.
Oh, and no way, dude! That's awesome. Nice.
Yeah, and then there's the head rumble. Oh, is it called rumble? I don't know. The head
haptics, yeah, something like that.
Haptics, yeah.
Oh,
this is really fun, but it's also we have to be careful with that because of course, it's very intense in a way. If you suddenly get this
in one scene, we had to tone it down because testers were complaining.
But it's my favorite moment, and I don't want to spoil the game, but there's let's say there's a party, there's a DJ, and it's like a little rave, and you can feel the beat if you get closer to the. It's a tiny thing, but you feel the beat if you get closer to the speakers. So this is
So I like how you guys are incorporating a lot of those newer features into this game, which is exactly as someone who just bought a $500 headset, we want to play games that use these features. So that's awesome that you've incorporated them. And it's like, I don't know, have you guys seen there? I'm sure it's a gimmick where I think it's called Woofer, where you put something on your chest and play music through like Bluetooth, and you're supposed to be able to feel the music.
Okay, no, I never played that.
This headset, almost what you mentioned, like with the party and DJs,
Yeah,
maybe you could feel like that. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I haven't tried it, but I can't wait to play it now. I'm gonna know exactly what point you're talking about too, and I'm like, that's Simon. Yes.
What I want, and I know the game it might have gone gold or is going gold pretty soon, or maybe you're done with it. In a future patch, can you give me a secret code that I can put in so that I can crank that intensity up all the way? I want to feel.
Okay.
I want the Simon experience. I want the full on. I want my head. I want to jostle my brain inside my skull with those haptics. So.
you,
Oh,
you need to sign like
I'll sign
waiver
whatever you need me
note.
to.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, so as again, we don't want to take as much of your time here during the day. I know it's a busy season. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about Tentacular. Where are your websites? Where can we get more information about Firepunchd games and maybe you two? So anything you want to plug or discuss with the listeners?
Okay, we are running a Discord chat where like player hangout, and this is like where the point where we interact the most with our players. Also, both of us are on Twitter. Simon is at Firepunchd, and I'm at Mr. Luca, Mr. Luca Games, and yeah, there is a website, Tentacular.com, where you can visit and just like go and check where you can get the game from.
Yeah, and we love to get feedback. So if anyone is playing the game and wants to complain or wants to get some hints, we had some really funny interactions with players that needed help for some of the achievements, which are a bit longer, let's say tricky. So that was really fun to give some hints but not spoil everything and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, I may
Also, we
reach
are
out to.
working
I like to do. I'm a minor platinum, like trying to get platinums. Does this have a platinum trophy?
Of course,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'll probably have to reach out because I probably won't be able to get them all. But I'm excited now. That is awesome. And we'll also have all of their links, Discord, all of that in the description of the podcast if the listeners, if you want to check them out. Any final questions from you, Alex, before we end the segment?
No, I just want to say thank you guys. This is great. I'm super excited about Tentacular. I can't wait to see what it's like to have these extremely long arms with a million little hands on them. And I'm super excited to see the functionality of the PSVR2 in this kind of game. I love this kind of stuff with the fun attitude mixed in with some touching moments and exciting gameplay mechanics. So thank you so much for your time today. And
Thank
Adam,
you for having us.
Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I know you guys are
Looking forward
busy.
for your feedback about giant tentacles.
Can't wait.
The sucker's ready.
Okay, fans, again, remember to check out Firepunchd Games Tentacular, the PSVR2 launch title. Simon, Luca, thank you again. We appreciate it. And thanks for joining Play PSVR2, the podcast. So this is Play PSVR2, the podcast. And Alex, I don't know about you, but after talking with Firepunchd, I feel that I am now more likely to not only buy, but play Tentacular. I am more excited for it now, knowing about the new technology, kind of understanding maybe a bit more about what the game is like. It wasn't really on my radar before, but now maybe it's just general PS2 hype. I don't know, but now I'm feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where like you see some games and it looks like people are just trying to make a VR game just for the sake of making a VR game. But it's nice to see that these guys actually put some thought into it and they're thinking about what they're doing to make the game fun and enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to it a lot more. I was already kind of high on it a little bit, and this got me up there to where I want to see what's happening there. And let that be a note to all developers. If you come on our podcast, we are going to want to play your game. That's just the way it goes. A little bit of back and forth, scratching backs right there. But speaking of scratching backs, Adam's going to be scratching his butt looking for his wallet when he's about to purchase some games on sale here. Adam, let's see if we can find you another nice, hefty $1.49 game for you to purchase so you can feel like you're actually an adult buying your own games. Adam, we got Intruders. Hide and Seek for $1.99.
Incredible game. I've already played it. I plugged it last week. I said play that.
Plugged it. Adam, Skyworld for $2.99.
I don't know. No.
Star Wars Squadrons for $5.99.
Heck no.
Why not? I'll
I
never
don't have time. I don't like Star Wars.
Okay. All right. Fine. Telefrag VR for $3.39.
No, I played this. You have to have multiplayer. No one who plays it's not a good game to begin with. So
Stunt Kite Masters VR $1.99. Yes. Oh, cool. Okay. Next is Doom VFR for $3.74.
that it's one of my games you got to play in the next month. So of course,
Carnival Games VR $4.99.
one of the games I said F off to. Don't do it.
Mask Maker for $4.99.
I'm gonna make more than just a mask.
What are you going to make, Adam?
Whoopee. Okay, next.
Were you ready? I don't even know. Shooty Fruity for $5.99.
Horrible game. Don't play it.
Res Infinite $8.99.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to buy it again.
Box VR for $8.99.
No.
What about Zine, The Land Beyond, $5.99.
I don't cry at the mere mention of like a Confucius quote. So no, I'm not playing this.
Do you know one Confucius quote?
No.
Okay. Table of Tales, The Crooked Crown, $5.99.
It's a good price. It's probably as cheap as you're going to get it. They don't lower it lower than that. I like it. I've already got it. I don't need to worry about buying it.
Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin, $5.99.
Is this another freaking Mervils thing or is this something different?
Oh, it's an adventure game. Psychonauts is an established franchise, Adam. If you followed video games, you would understand. Tim Schafer.
It is an established no for me as well.
2MD VR Football Head-to-Head Edition, $3.89.
I don't have anyone.
I think it might be getting an upgrade, like maybe a paid-for upgrade, maybe just a new PSVR2 version coming. But there's something.
I don't have anyone to butt heads with, so no.
All right. What about Fisherman's Tale Deluxe Upgrade for $174? You played the original. Do the deluxe upgrade. It gives you a soundtrack.
Yeah, right. No. Buy it for $150 if you just feel like you gotta play it.
What if it gave you a theme for your PS5?
No, absolutely not. I would be ashamed to use that as my theme.
Vertigo Home for $5.19.
That's too much for that game. That is nuts that that's a sale. No way.
I just want to buy this game so that I can see if the money goes into the bank account of the developers to see if they're still alive. Drone Striker for $3.99.
Absolutely not.
What if I bought Vertigo Home and they refunded me the money because they were like, this bank account doesn't exist? Wouldn't that be great?
But you still got to
Vertigo
keep the
Home.
game?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They have to give it to me. It's the law.
Dude, Cut Cerny would just keep it.
He would just keep it. Sharknado VR Eye of the Storm, $1.59.
No.
So a shark flying at you and you cut it with a chainsaw while it's flying at you. You don't want to do that for $159?
I've already made my dirty joke, so I can't use another one. No, I don't want to play this.
Bracked Deluxe Edition, $13.99.
Absolutely not.
Okay, what about not Deluxe Edition? Just $13.49 for just.
Dude, if anything is over $10, I ain't buying it.
Okay, Mars Alive for $6.79.
No.
What about The Guy VR, who I think it's our buddy Corporate Zombie let us know that The Guy VR is getting a VR2 upgrade for $4.19.
One of the worst games I've ever played. Straight. Now, maybe without move controllers, it's probably might be all right. But with move controllers, what I played was one of the worst games I've ever played for the PSVR.
That's incredibly rude, Adam, and severely disappointing. How about Gorn for $9.99?
No. Can you pick some better games? Like, what is this? Like,
I'm picking the games that are on sale. How about Layers of Fear VR for $9.99?
No, they're just going to drop bugs on you and put you up high and probably bury you alive. Big deal. This isn't Fear Factor. Move on.
Deracine for $9.99.
Listen, that is a rabbit scrotum hair underneath $10. I ain't buying it.
Blair Witch VR Deluxe Edition, $17.49.
I'm tempted, but again, over $10. I'm not buying it. Not
Immortal
for a
Legacy.
month.
Immortal Legacy, the Jade Cipher, $9.99. It has a platinum trophy.
No, I don't have time to get these platinums. We got a month, man. I already told you what 5 games I'm playing.
Bravo Team, aim controller compatible for $9.99.
From what I remember, game sucked. I'm not playing that.
All right. How about Trickster VR Co-op Dungeon Crawler
Horrible.
for $8.24?
I won't say horrible. Not very fun. No.
All right. Job Simulator for $12.99.
This game should be free. No, I'm not buying that.
Cave Digger 2 for $17.49.
Already have it. Already played it. Going back to it.
The Exorcist Legion VR Complete Series, $20.99.
Based on the first level, which you would think is one of the better levels to ensnare you in the plot and the development of the game itself, no way. I would rather go to Boo Haunted House DOS Edition. I don't know.
DOS Edition. That's where you went. O-Shape. 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 O-Shape for $13.99.
Oh, shape. More like oh face. Oh no.
All right. Well, I picked and choose a little bit because we're covering the same ground as last month. Adam, or last week, sounds like you're not going to buy any games. Severely disappointed.
Is after the fall still on sale?
I'm sorry.
No.
Puzzling Places monthly pack number 7, $3.49.
I can't do 7. If 6 is on sale, that's a buy for sure at that price.
Star Bear Taxi $2.74.
No.
Farpoint $9.99.
I thought we were done with these. Or can we be done? I'm not buying them, Alex. I gotta save all my cheddar for the big mouse. PSVR2. The games are costing $50, $60 now. I don't have money to give away for this minutia of PSVR.
If you heard that right, listeners, if you want some of Adam's cheddar, show him your big mouse. Adam, why don't you lay into the airing of grievances? We haven't done this in a while. You are hot and heated about something. Let me know what's going on.
Well, I'm not. I have cooled down a bit, but here's the thing that I am sick and I'm tired of. I have been going around town. It is a month before PSVR2. I know not a little more than a month and a week before, 37 days before PSVR2 releases. Guess what? Not a single freaking place is doing pre-orders. Why? I want to get my pre-order at GameStop or Best Buy. So on friggin' February 22nd at 10 a.m., I'm at the doorstop of GameStop. I've got my game already paid for, my console and my games, and it's in my hand by 10:03, and I'm at my house by 10:10 or 10:10, and I'm playing VR by 11 a.m. Instead, Cuck Cerny's screwing me. He's going to make him freaking ship it to me because they've got 2 million VRs. Where are they putting them, Alex? Probably right up his butt. That's where. They're not giving any to people. I am sick of it. I want to get it locked down. And by gosh, if they give it, I swear if they give my PSVR 2 to FedEx to deliver, I will lose it. Someone will die. Heads will roll. You will not hear the end of me on this. I hate FedEx. They are the worst. I'm not even getting to that. That's a whole other airing of grievance. Why would you not prepare to give pre-orders out? What are they doing? I understand Sony wants a lot of them. Okay, that was a month ago we pre-ordered it? What are you doing, dude? If you are even remotely close to your 2 million number, you know they didn't invite 2 million people, even 1 million people to go and pre-order them online during that special event. Release them. I don't want to buy it from you because you're going to bone me. I'm going to get my PSVR 2 late, and then I'm not going to be able to enjoy it, and I'm going to have to freaking watch Jay Brat and Alex and Will and all these freaking people play VR. I'm still going to be on PSVR 1 playing Fisherman's Tale for the 8th time, Deluxe Edition. Watching Alex, watching the theme of my PS5 where a fisherman goes inside Alex and he enjoys it. And I'm not about that.
That was a good airing of grievance, Adam. You finally worked that out. I didn't
stupid.
know.
What? Like, I'm sure you have an answer for everything, Alex. You're the magical one-upper. You one-up anything. What?
Let me one-up you.
Why
me one
have
up
they
you.
not come out with pre-orders? Like, what?
First of all, let's just lay it out on the table. The reason you're upset is because you want to go to GameStop and buy Pokemon cards. Everybody, listen. Adam hasn't figured out how phones work. He drove all over town to different GameStops to physically ask them, "Can I pre-order?"
No, not GameStop, stores. And I was already near them, so I stopped by.
Yeah, you were near them because you were driving to them to go into them to ask them if they could give you a pre-order.
Okay, but you didn't answer my question.
No,
Why?
I'll answer your question. So what was the biggest deal with PS5 when it came out? Well, one, there was a scarcity, of course. The other issue was scalpers, right? How do you stop the scalping business going where you have these losers waiting in line to buy 5 PSVRs or whatever, or going to every store and buying a PSVR that they can and trying to sell them on the internet? You can already see they're trying to do it with these pre-orders you get on the PlayStation Store. Sony's circumventing that. They're making sure that's not an issue at launch. Anybody who really wants one can get one. You just got to go on their website and get it. The other thing is it's bad publicity. If you walk into GameStop and you see 100 PSVR2 sitting around, it makes it look like this thing has no games, it has no legs, nobody's buying it, and that's not a good thing to have happen in the store, because that's what I saw with like the Virtual Boy when it came out. That's what I saw with Neo Geo Pocket Color. All these failed consoles, they come out and they're littering the stores with all these extra consoles that aren't being moved, or maybe they are being moved. I mean, Sony made a ton of them. Maybe Sony just doesn't want to have to ship to a third-party company, lose some of that cost, when they could just be shipping it straight to you. I really like that they're shipping it to us. I'm sorry that you are not a PlayStation Premium member, maybe because you refuse to spend more than $1.49 on any damn game that comes out on PS4. They know that about you, Adam. They look at the receipts. They have the receipts. Cuck Cerny's sitting there holding the receipt. I said, okay, $1.49, 49 cents. He tried to get a refund for that 49-cent game. What? How the hell did he order Hint Water from the PlayStation Store? That's you, Adam. They're avoiding that. They don't want you. Take a hint, Adam. Take a hint. Nobody wants you playing PSVR 2 because you have bad taste. Go back to playing your stupid list of PSVR 1 games.
I don't think. I know you don't know, but I can't think that's the reason. Because what's better for them, I suppose, is if they give each GameStop only 3 pre-orders and then they sell out. Then they've got a sign that says PSVR 2, and then they put a big old red sticker on it that says pre-orders out or sold out. That's going to raise excitement. I'm not saying they give all GameStops 100 PSVR 2s. Of course, that would be horrible business. But they should at least have some of them out there.
I'm sure they'll be there at launch. Maybe GameStop just knows how many they're getting and they don't feel like a pre-order is a thing to have to do. Because they run into issues with this pre-order crap where the stores are unreliable or they promise numbers and it creates a problem where they can't deliver the numbers that they thought they were going to be getting. And it's just an overall terrible experience, in my opinion, going to a brick and mortar store, waiting in line for hours. I mean, it can be kind of fun, but really it just ultimately kind of sucks when it could be delivered to you. I think the real issue is that you live in like a hole and nobody wants to deliver to that hole because it's a cesspool. You live in a cesspool, Adam, and nobody wants to go there.
Listen, I have delivered to many holes, but my problem is, that was my green. I want you to get yours and let's get out of here. I'm sick of talking with you. All I want is a PSVR 2 and I want it early on the 22nd. I want it and I want it bad, and I'm not going to get it because freaking PlayStation and Sony sucks.
Well, that's not a good way to get Sony to send you one on time. Adam, I don't have any grievances. I mean, my grievance is you having this horrible opinion of Fisherman's Tale. Anyways, enough about that. Everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you to Luca and Simon for joining us so that we can talk about Tentacular and get hyped. That is it for Play PSVR 2, the podcast, episode 103. So thank you for listening. Thanks for enjoying, and thanks for enduring Adam's nonsense takes. Make sure you check out Firepunchd Games and their upcoming release, Tentacular. Be sure to hit us up on YouTube. We are Gaming is in Session. We need you to leave us a comment, interact with us. We want to feel you with our virtual tentacles. While you're at it, go on iTunes, leave us a review so people know that we're still alive, because I think those just stopped happening. That's fine. If you don't want to leave us a review, leave us a bad review. I want those. We can talk about that. Plug our butts with those 5-star reviews, though, so we just keep that stuff from coming out. We can put it out on the podcast, give you some content, but most of all, tell your auntie that she has a month left to get it all in, baby, because before she knows it, we'll be busting at the seams with all sorts of PSVR 2 launch goodness. We're like, 4 episodes away? We can make that 1 episode away, just not do anything until it comes out, but we're not going to do that to you. We're going to be right here with you. You're going to be right here with us every step of the way. So for Adam, I'm Alex. Thank you for listening to Play PSVR2, the podcast, where virtual reality is our reality.